Hi everyone, thank you so much for being with me here today. This is going to be the June 2023 tarot reading for the sign of Sagittarius. So this is for Sagittarius Sun, Moon or Rising, or anyone who has prominent Sagittarian energy in their birth chart. And if you enjoy the video, if you don't mind, like it so that way the video can circulate. And then if you're interested in seeing more videos from me, more of my content, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. That'll be awesome. Again, thank you so much for being here. So I've been talking about the astrology for some of the signs with the previous videos that I've done. And I do want to speak to you about the astrology this month just because you are the main character. So we have the full moon in Sagittarius today. I'm recording June 3rd, 2023. Today is the full moon. And I mean, I'm hoping that all of you guys feel really, really good and really solid in your Sagittarius fire, energy. This is going to bring concepts and ideas around your belief system, feeling like you have a positive outlook more than usual. There may be some projects or goals that you have in mind and you feel really enthusiastic about them right now. And I just think that, that arrow of yours has a target and you're feeling really good about it being like, okay, it is time. This is the time for me to hit the target, right? And so I just would advise you to just take full advantage of this energy and just go full force. The universe is at your side right now. And, for the full moon, you're hanging out with the full moon or, it's in your sign. I think that because the collective is feeling this, when you come into contact with other people, organizations, groups that you're involved in, I think that everyone is going to have that enthusiasm right now, in a sense. And so it's like a feeling of the right place at the right time. Jupiter does rule your sign. So anywhere Jupiter goes, it's going to bless us with the certain aspects or characteristics of the sign that it's in. Right now, Jupiter is in the sign of Taurus, and for you, let's see, is that making any specific aspects to the actual Sagittarius sun sign? I just don't think that it's sort of, making any negative aspects to you. So your planet being in the sign of Taurus, it's in your 6th house. So it is, whatever target you have, right? Whatever idea that you want to go into, whatever goal that you want to accomplish, there is some work that you have been doing to get this going. And it probably involves like a lot of daily details, the day-to-day things. And so if you continue that, and you stay consistent in, every day doing a little bit toward this goal, Jupiter is going to be there for the next year to help you along with it and to push you along with it and to motivate you. And I think that by this time next year, if this is, a big enough goal that you want to accomplish, I think that you will definitely see the fruits of your labor. But the entire year for the next, 10 to 12 months or so, Jupiter will be in a sign that has to do with your foundation, your money, luxury, the pleasures in life. And I think that paired with this full moon, this time right now, it's a really fun, excited energy. And I think that whatever it is that you are involved in brings out some passion within you and some excitement. And if you don't have that right now, I think that it's a really good time for you to start to dive into that energy so that way you can make the best of it. It is a full moon in Sagittarius. If you're listening to this anytime during June 3rd, it would be a great idea to do a little elemental magic. And if you're into that type of stuff, maybe a bonfire, you know, something that has to do with fire to increase that fire, action-oriented, enthusiastic, excited energy. And with the fire element, it's about action. So it's about getting things going. And so even meditating in your energy, I was feeling super good. I am a Cancer, and so I have a Cancer stellium in the 9th house, which is the house of Sagittarius. And so anytime, every month when the moon goes into this sign, I feel really good, like super confident, like I'm on top of the world and I can do anything. And so if this is how you feel on a normal basis, with this full moon in Sagittarius, it's only going to emphasize that. And we go later in the month, mid-month, June 18th. Then that's when we have the new moon in Gemini. So this is your opposite sign. So it's going to be on the opposite side of your birth chart. For any Sagittarius risings, or even Sagittarius sun, this is going to be around matters of communication. So right now, in the beginning of June, while you're getting things started, and you have that target, right, with your bow and arrow, with the archer that you are, and there's a target that you want to hit, and you're looking at it, and you're ready to strike. And I think that you do that, right? Like you get the ball rolling, and then by the time the June 18th comes, mid-month in with that new moon, there is a sense of communicating this information, you know, gathering people to, I don't know, provide feedback or get feedback or plan things out. You know, maybe just some revision around this idea because it's already going, it's already in motion. There is a need to start to bring it out to the world and communicate that. You have all of the information you need, so now you are informative enough to be able to communicate that to others, if that makes sense. So, I mean, I think that this is going to be a really great month. This is your time. Every year when the moon, when we are in Gemini season, that is when the full moon is in Sagittarius. So anytime between the end of the second half of May and the first half of June, there will always be a full moon in Sagittarius. Okay, so if you reflect and look back to previous years during the end of spring, beginning of summer, what are the main topics that you find that happens in your life, right? And hopefully that's the time, that's the time of the year where you feel really good. Anyway, so that's some astrology for you. Let's go into the reading and start off with your personal energy for the month of June. Sagittarius, June 2023. You have the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so there's probably some back and forth pros and cons that, like, there is a focus right now. It could be on another person, but there is this balancing of good and bad, right and wrong, again, pros and cons about this situation or about a person. When we have the Knight of Cups, this is an energy around matters of the heart, There's some romantic energy coming through here with the Knight of Cups. There's a need to or yearn to communicate feelings and emotions, and bringing that, being open about it, communicating in a nurturing, loving way. There's a romantic, artistic, mystical, spiritual energy as well. And when we are talking about the astrology, mid-month, when that new moon is in Gemini, it is also going to be making a square to Neptune in Pisces. And Pisces is also ruled by the sign of, the planet of Jupiter in traditional astrology. So Pisces and Sagittarius do have a commonality with that. But that energy of Neptune and Pisces does bring up fantasy, mysticism, magic, intuition, the watery aspects of things. And the Knight of Cups is a Pisces card. So there's something around that June 18th new moon in Gemini where there may be some communication that you have with another person regarding all of those topics that I just mentioned. And I think that for a while, like in the beginning of June, you're juggling what you want to say. Like you are, it feels, I'm an intuitive reader, so I pick up on the feeling of the person that I'm reading for. So it feels like there are many ways that you want to go about a conversation or connecting with a person. So like at the beginning, you're thinking about the different ways of how to approach it and how to communicate your thoughts and your feelings. And I think that by middle of the month, you'll have an opportunity or make a decision, either or, to communicate this, and you'll finally, feel as though, okay, like I know how to say what I want to say. I know what I want to say. I know what I want from this conversation. I know what I want from this dynamic. And with that Gemini coming through, it's going to help you articulate this information or these thoughts, these feelings toward another person. This Queen of Cups is a person who is a nurturer. She's a lover. She's a feeler. She's also very, very in tune with her intuition, her instincts, but also the universe, her guides, the energy. She is sensitive to the energy around her. There's some depth here. She has strong faith. Now, if this is somebody, because this is your personal energy, I apologize. So let's talk about it from being in a personal way. You can be this way. You can have all of this Queen of Cups type of characteristics, but you're still wanting to communicate with someone and come together with someone or something. And so you're feeling it out, so this is a different way of saying it, but basically you're feeling it out. You're feeling, kind of doing that pros and cons thing, but instead of being a mental approach, you are doing it in a more emotional, sensitive, instinctive way, if that makes sense. So following your intuition, following your instincts, regarding this matter of coming into communication or connection with someone. If it is not you coming into communication with somebody, then this could talk about, just being more creative this month of June. Maybe there's a creative project that you want to start or that you're working on, and you want to bring all of those talents and all those skills and that you have from a creative perspective into bringing this art piece to life. And when we talk about art, I mean, obviously art is a huge, you know, very, very broad spectrum of interests and different, you know, aspects of art. So it could be anything. But there is a sense of artistic ability here, creativity here, you know, expressing yourself from the heart, from a loving place, maybe over romanticizing situations as well. You know, with the full moon in Sagittarius, that's just like enhancing the over idealism, which Sagittarius already has, that, you know, optimistic idealism mentality. So it could just be enhanced at this point. But there is definitely something that you're juggling. And I'm not saying that you're struggling with it, but there's two sides to a situation that are both very validating for you. And I think that the month of June, there's a need for you to just feel them out and follow your intuition and follow your instincts more than anything. Let's go into the environment. Who or what is in your environment that we need to know? We have the Four of Cups. The Lovers. And the Knight of Pentacles. So in your environment, there's an element of something taking really long. Something is taking really long and you are, you know, sort of over it or getting bored of it. Maybe you've been in a situation for a long period of time and, you know, there is a loss of passion or loss of excitement. It just feels really routine-like and boring-like here. Maybe you are... There is something in your environment that is causing you to feel boredom. So even if you are going through these instinctual moments, like I was mentioning up top here, where you're following your intuition and all of that stuff, maybe it's like romanticizing a situation, but not, and like mulling over it, but not necessarily taking action. And there's a situation in your environment that feels like it's taking forever and you're getting, like, maybe you're no longer interested in a certain dynamic between you and another. With the Lovers here, you know, this could talk about two people, and it could also talk about a choice as well. And so where the Lovers is, you're ideally with this card, it's a card where you feel like you are in, how can I say this? Like, you know that feeling when you just meet someone that you really, really like them and everything is perfect around you? Right? Like that feeling, that place. And that's how the Lovers comes through. So if we are sitting in the energy of the Lovers, that feeling that we have that I just mentioned is how it feels to be in that card, right? To be that energy. And I don't think that you're feeling that. I think that maybe you're longing for that. But I don't, or if this is in your environment, maybe someone else is feeling like this. But whoever it is, whether it's you or someone else, they are taking, or you are taking your sweet time on something, like being extremely cautious. So there is an element around this emotion-based feeling process right now, but at the same time being super cautious, weighing out the options. So I don't know if maybe you just feel like you're guarded, like you have some walls up or something like that. But if this card, the Lover's card, is in your environment, just by it being here, there is an opportunity for some type of communicative, you know, talk, at least, right? In the least, this is a conversation, but the opportunity is there. So I don't know if it's another person who is just looking away from this opportunity. Maybe they don't know that it's there. So someone's bored, they're walking away from something, and they're just kind of sidestepping around it. I also want to say that. It feels like that. So I don't know. I hope this is not you, because this is your month. It's the full moon in Sagittarius. Like, this is your time, right? Like, take advantage of that. You have no business feeling bored at a time like this, you know? All right. Let's see what other situations may come up. What other energy, people may come toward you, things that you have to be aware of, things that you want to anticipate or prepare for the month of June 2023 for Sagittarius, please. Got the Death card. Okay. The Knight of Cups again. It's the same as this guy over here. The Two of Swords. And the Knight of Pentacles, which is the same as this guy here. Okay. And the Knight of Wands, or the Knight of Inspiration, which is your energy. It's a Sagittarius card. All right, so we start off the month with a need to transform something. There's an ending, beginning, death, and rebirth. There's a need to see something differently than what you have been recently. And this is probably regarding the heart and these emotions and feelings that you're having. Maybe coming into June, recently you were feeling something. Maybe something was bubbling up and coming up to the surface and you weren't too aware of what it was. But going into June, maybe you're starting to become aware of that. And so you've hit that target and pinpointed what it is and where it's coming from. And hopefully you are ready to transform some of those energies. So that way you can, come out of this little dark period that you've been in. This is like an internal process I'm feeling. I'm also feeling it to be mental thoughts. There's I'm also feeling meditation or breath work, or just like long moments where you are in silence, or like you're intentionally laying down, closing your eyes to transform certain thoughts that you're having, or to identify and become aware of what it is you're feeling. Like there's a feeling of needing to be clear on something. And it's similar to this energy where I was like, you're balancing it out, you're weighing the options, and maybe it's just become like too much. I don't feel it to be too much as in it's super burdensome and it's like heavy energy. I don't feel it like that. I feel it more lighter than that. I don't think that gets I don't know, some signs when they get into this energy, it really takes over their being. And I don't feel it to be that way. I feel it just as I'm tired of thinking it. I'm tired of thinking about it. You know, like, I'm over it already. Let's do something about it. Like, fuck it. Let's just do something about it. You know, like, this is, and I wouldn't think when I step into Sagittarius energy, like, it doesn't feel like this, right? So I wouldn't think that you like to be here. I don't think this is a place that you enjoy to be. If you are in this place, you know, at some point in a, like, pretty quickly, you get out of it. You're not there for long, right? In this dark type of, you know, death rebirth process. So it's like, let's get on with it already, you know? And again, I'm here. I'm feeling like that feeling when you just want to say, fuck it, let's just do it. Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. So, I mean, that could be, you know, this energy that I was speaking to earlier. We're talking about this night or this person. I'm starting to think that they're two different people. So this is their personal energy, this Knight of Cups, where you have an emotional or wanting to have an emotional based conversation. And then in your environment, there's this Knight of Pentacles who are taking their sweet, sweet time with something. And you're just like, hurry it up already. Like, geez, you know. But they are in their head. They're definitely in their head about something. They don't have all of the information that they need to make an informed decision on a situation. There could be some personal behaviors that are preventing them from making this situation. Making this decision. Sorry. Yeah. So with the Knight of Pentacles, they're overly cautious. They're defensive. That's why they take their time. And there's also a sense of, you know, because it's an earth-based card, the element of earth, that it's like things will naturally happen. You know, things will happen at their own time type of thing. But I don't know if that's necessarily the truth for them right now. Maybe that's where they're used to being, in that type of mentality of that nature take its course. And so they're just chalking it up to that instead of really seeing the reason behind it, which is that the fact that they just cannot make a decision. There's a choice that needs to be made, and they are running away from their instincts. So it's causing more and more confusion. There's also an element of two people needing to make a choice, because this, you know, juggling over here, it's like two sides of something, and then you have the Two of Swords over here with this Knight of Pentacles, and with this one it's also two sides of something. So I don't know. Let's see what else comes up. You have the Nine of Wands. The Page of Swords. Someone's defensive. She's got that really strongly. Eight of Swords. No. And the Star. So middle of the month energy. I'm feeling this to be a blockage of some sort. There is a need to communicate. Okay, so this card, the Page of Swords, is coming through. That's my validation that there is this, the underlining underbelly of this situation is lack of communication and the need to do it. Especially if two people want to get out of this unknown type of energy where they need to make a decision and they're not. I feel like if you're not careful, when you do communicate with somebody, there is a sense of being defensive. Someone is going to be super sensitive and take offense. So therefore, they become defensive during this conversation. So I don't know if this is you or someone else, but, you know, if you're going to communicate, you need to have all of your thoughts in check. You need to know, and maybe that's what you're doing with this transformative energy here. Like you're transforming these unknown, unfamiliar, foreign thoughts and feelings that you're having that you can't really pinpoint what it is and where they're coming from. Therefore, you know, you're sort of juggling all of the different aspects of things. So there is a need to transform that, go into it, and end up becoming super clear about what you're feeling and thinking. So that way you can have this conversation in a very clear, articulate, direct way, non-personal, and understand that if this person is a trigger for you, because I am feeling that defensive energy. So there's a defensive energy when two people are having a conversation, then there is something someone is saying to the other that is triggering them to be defensive, right? So also coming to terms with the trigger. Let's just say you and this person have a conversation about whatever it is you need to have a conversation about. Play it out in your mind. You should sort of know the person's style of communicating and their baseline of who they are. So if you play it out in your mind and you're thinking or daydreaming, right, about like you and this other person having a conversation, and then you can automatically pick up on the trigger. Hold on to that moment, right? When you're doing this transformative work, and then look at the trigger. Where is that coming from? Especially if it's you that's triggered by them, right? Where is it coming from? What do they do? What, characteristic is it that they have? Their communication style, their choice of words, like their point of view, whatever that is that triggers you and why. Okay, so that way you can have practice and that we can have practice around having this conversation so you don't get triggered. Because I think that if you don't do that and you don't prepare for it and you have this conversation with this person, somebody's going to be defensive and then it may not go well. And then there's going to just be this like, okay, I'm back into, this dark area, and someone here is extremely in their head. This card is like, it's standing out to me right now. If this is you or you're dealing with someone, man, they're going through it. They feel trapped. They feel like they cannot do anything about a situation. And it's all in their head. It's not real. It's not reality. But there's some deep, deep behavioral trauma. Like they 100% believe that inner talk that they're saying to themselves, that they just I can't do it. And I don't know why they can't do something. I don't know why they think like that, because anytime the 8 of Swords comes out, yes, it's a feeling of being trapped in a situation, and you have this energy around, I Either I'm not good enough to get out of this situation. I don't deserve to get out of this situation. If I get out of this situation, then this in my life and this in my life and this in my life is going to break down and I'm going to lose this. And, you know, like all of these justifications, right, to keep them where they are, which all of those reasons are excuses. They are excuses to stay in a current situation that is not good for you. It's not ideal. It's not healthy. Whether it has to do with another person or just yourself keeping you in a situation, those are all excuses. And why do people do that? Why do people make excuses to not take action? Why do people make excuses to stay stuck? Why do people make excuses to not evolve and take action? Where does that come from? Examples would be a lack of self-worth. That's like a big example. I am not worthy to have anything good outside of this. I am not good enough. I am not smart enough. I don't know how because whatever, right? Like these are examples. So this is you or not, I don't know, but whoever listens to this video and relates to this situation, this is a heavy energy that I'm feeling. And I know I said earlier that it didn't feel heavy. I don't know if this is the same type of transformative work that you're doing here at the beginning of the month. I think this feels productive. This feels just like you know, like one day you wake up and you've been thinking about all these things that you want to do and change in your life, and you wake up and you have this overwhelming motivation, and you know, like you're in touch with the universe, you're in touch with your senses, and you're like, yes, like I'm gonna do this for me. Like this is a positive feeling around transforming, you know, like let's just say that you're ready to change your eating habits and your exercise habits and your diet habits, and you have like all these plans of, you know, what you're going to buy at the grocery store, and you know, I don't know, maybe you bought yourself some exercise equipment and you're putting that together. Like that's fun, transformative stuff. This feels different. This is dark. Someone wants to be seen. Someone wants someone to come and get them out of their misery. Someone is looking at somebody else. There's a similarity here. These are totally different cards, by the way, but there's a similarity here of like high ascension, the light, gravitating toward the light. I'm feeling like one person sees the other person as the light, and one person's in the dark, and the other person's like the sun, and they're shining, and they're, or this card's a star, but regardless, like they're the light for them, and they're just like, see me, help me, get me out. Or one person saw the light and has gone to the light already. The other person sees the light, but they're choosing to stay in the dark. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do some clarifying once I get the energy for the end of the month. So this is happening in the middle of the month. We do have a Jupiter sextile Saturn, June 19th. Is this it? Is this what I'm feeling? So, I mean, anytime Saturn comes into play, there is an element around lessons learned. It's a karmic energy where the situation that you're in, there is a situation around you that needs for you to see the lesson in it. And this is happening with Jupiter, which is your ruling planet, right after, the next day after that new moon in Gemini. And so Jupiter's in Taurus, Saturn is Pisces, so there's like this earth and water element working together here, which are both the more depth, you know, elements. And so it does feel like two different energies here, you know, sort of, or needing to work together. Whereas one person is like that Jupiter energy of exuberance and, you know, high vibration and more of a higher ascended mentality, the big picture thinking. You know, Jupiter is the biggest planet, right? So there's this like sense of gravity where Jupiter attracts. It's like a vortex of attraction. And with the star, there's like an element around attention, like someone has a high, like people are just attracted and all eyes are on somebody. And then Saturn is that dark place, you know, and Saturn is in the depths and in the underbelly, in the ground of things, like the under emotion of something, and something's bubbling up. Or maybe Jupiter is with that gravity, like sucking out some deep-rooted limitation type of trauma here that's limiting you from being your fullest self. That's something that I just felt really strongly. There is something within you that is limiting you. If you can go in and find what that is and work on that during the month of June, at least this year, start working on this one thing, and you know what it is. You know, whatever prevents you from being your full fucking self, right? Like the best version of yourself. There is something there underlining that you have not touched on. Maybe you know it, but you haven't worked with it yet. There's a need to work with that this month. Start working with that. At least notice it. Okay? All right, let's see. There's nothing worse than a Sagittarius who cannot be their full fucking self, right? Like, there's nothing worse than that for a Sagittarius. There's no excuse here. No more excuses. Magician. Yes. The Hierophant. Also, yes. The 10 of Pentacles. Yes. And the 2 of Pentacles, which is this energy over here. And then again, you have the Knight of Wands, which is your card at the bottom. If you can do this work, if you can do this transformative work, at the end of June, I guarantee it, you are going to feel so good. You will be back to that high vibe Sagittarian energy. You will notice that you are the creator of your life. Maybe you already know that, but it's one thing to say it. We can have a philosophy on life all day, right? We can have a motto of life all day, and we can say it to people all day. But it's another thing when it comes to life, when you actually do it or you see it because of something you did. There's nothing like that feeling of feeling and seeing the reality of your philosophy coming to life, if that makes sense. Like, that's how I want to say it. And again, knowing that you are the creator of your own life, knowing that you can do this work and get it done and see the big picture of why you needed to do it, right? Like, it all comes together. And then feeling that sense of, I am fucking magic. I can make anything happen. I can transform this shit into something better. I can transmute this low vibe into something productive. You know, I used my pain. I used my lack mentality. I used my trauma from my childhood. I used my shitty experiences, you know, from relationships, and I transmuted it. And I am now using it in a productive, effective, I'm bringing art to life. I am, you know, seeing changes in my body, seeing changes in my environment. Like, I'm attracting money. I'm attracting, you know, opportunity, right? Like, using the dark for the light. And then coming out of the month with a new conviction of who you are. There's your belief system, and this is the theme for the month. Again, because the new moon is in Sagittarius. This has been a theme for all of us for the month of June. And it's always like that during Gemini season, where our philosophy on life or of ourself, our ideas, ideals about ourselves change in some way. It's a pivotal moment during this time of year. And so you're doing this work and you're coming out of it, and there's something about you that now you see differently, and there's a different belief system about yourself that is going to be the catalyst and the motivator for material abundance, for material prosperity, for a solid foundation, for security, stability, home, money, family. It's like going back to as within, so without. This thing that has kept you from being your best self has kept your life from being its best self. Once you transform that, look at that, do all the work that we talked about, you come out of it feeling like you can do anything. You have just alchemized a low situation, a dark situation, and you alchemized it into something higher and lighter. And now you see your capabilities, and there is a different belief system around who you are and what you're capable of. Therefore, you start to see the outer surroundings match the internal situation. What is this Two of Pentacles about? I'm going to clarify the Two of Pentacles. Why is the Two of Pentacles showing up in this reading, please? Look. Two of Pentacles again. Holy moly. What is this? Don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Get out of the pride, Sagittarius. No, there's no time for pride right now. No, don't do that. You're going to sabotage yourself. It's this choice of ego and fucking pride over this like high vibe, doing the spiritual work, like ascension, you know, following your destiny, following your path, just for your pride and your ego to hold you back? No, don't do that. Defensiveness again. Please clarify the Two of Pentacles. Thank you. Oh, these cards. The Lovers. Which is obviously the Lovers here. So we're getting cards, repeating cards. The Four of Wands. Clarify the Two of Pentacles, please. Okay, I'm also feeling intuitively I cannot move, because if I move and choose to do something else, it doesn't even matter. All the options and all the choices are around you. And it's like, this is how I feel that you're coming across. Like if you're stuck here, if I move, I'm going to lose out on a potential situation. I cannot make a move right now because I need to stay still. I need to stay here so I don't miss out on something. I don't know what that is. That's a strong, strong feeling that I'm getting. What is yours will be. What is yours will be yours. Like, that's just how it is. Can't stop your life for potentials, for the what ifs. The what ifs are not real. The what ifs are not there. This is work that needs to be done so you can be the best you, so you can live your best life. Two of Pentacles is clarified by the Lover's card, the Four of Wands, the Queen of Cups, which is this person up here. The shadow side in most decks, this is the card of the Devil, and the Four of Swords. You're juggling two choices, two options. There's a romantic relationship here. I'm not even going to say it's not romantic. It feels super like this is partnership. This is potential love. The ideal relationship. Whatever your ideal relationship is with your ideal person. Okay, so that's one option. That's one of these two pentacles that you're juggling. Or pride, ego with the Devil. Just want to say that I picked up on that ego before the Devil even came out. Okay, so but pride, ego, and the Four of Swords. In this deck, the Four of Swords shows a woman that is preparing for battle. In most decks, the Four of Swords is a person who is laying down with their eyes closed in sort of this restful, I need to like meditate, like get out of my head, get out of my thoughts type of energy. But because we're using this deck and this one is coming from a defensive, preparing for battle place, I will say that this transformative work that you have to do is probably something along the lines of anger, resentment, bitterness. It's nothing unusual for a Sagittarius, you know. I think that these are the lower vibrations usually from what I see, what I feel. But it's like a choice. What are you going to choose, you know? Strength card at the bottom. So preparing for battle, preparing for conflict, wanting conflict. Why? I don't know. Why would you want that? Why would anyone want that? Are you stuck in here? This is like, I don't know. But, I mean, juggling this or the opportunity to feel true love and get that ideal life with another person and with a partner. Let's just say that, you know, depending on who's listening, right? Like, okay, maybe there is a person in your life that is representing this partner. Okay, everything still stands the way I've mentioned it. If there is not a person in your life and you're single and you are bitter and angry and resentful, that is the low vibe, right? So you're juggling your ego and your pride with the idea of having a loving, nurturing, true relationship with somebody. This doesn't have to be a real person. This could be the idea of having that. So for the month of June, there is juggling around, am I ready for a healthy, loving, true relationship or not? Right? I can't even say that you're juggling the pride and ego because I think that right now you're probably in that. There's no juggling. That's your baseline right now. Doesn't have to be your baseline though. It doesn't have to be where you're at. If you are out there today, you can make a choice today to transform this shit and get out of it and live a happier, healthier, you know, high vibing life. You're holding on to something from your past. You're holding on to it tight. For what? It's not adding to your life. There's no reason. You're taking away energy and a healthy heart, a healthy mind. Every day that you're in this energy is a day wasted from having a healthy heart and a healthy mind. When you have a healthy heart, healthy mind, your life is healthy, right? Like, time to make a choice. Sagittarius, time to make a choice. All right, this is the reading for the month of June. I hope that you can navigate these dynamics that you find yourself in a clear-minded way, and make the right choice. You know what is best for you and your life and your families and, you know, all of that stuff. So I hope that, you know, we'll see what happens in July and what comes forward in July. If I'm still here doing readings on YouTube, I hope this helps someone. I hope someone was able to gain insight, information, perspective on their current situation in any way. If you're interested in a personal reading with me, you know, I do card readings. I also do astrology readings. My information is listed on the channel. And I really, really hope and wish that you have an awesome, awesome month of June. And we will see each other on the next video. Thank you again so much for being here. Please like the video or subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. See you next time.